AI agencies are popping up everywhere, but the truth is 99% of them are doing YouTube completely wrong. And right now I'm working with multiple AI businesses through Flow Social, my YouTube content agency, helping them generate multiple qualified calls every single month through YouTube. And so I get to see firsthand exactly what happened before me and what's costing them so much time and effort with such little result. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what AI agencies get wrong with YouTube, and more importantly, how you can spot these red flags before you destroy your entire brand and waste your time. So the main thing that AI agencies screw up in their YouTube content is that they're not packaging their videos properly. They're actually packaging it completely wrong. And when I say this, I mean specifically the ideation part, because the idea is the most important part besides the thumbnail and the title, of course. So the idea comes first. And so when I say package it wrong, I mean you're using the wrong content pillars, you're not using repeatable themes, and this is really important because if you're not even using the right content pillars, then how are you going to attract your ICP, your ideal client profile? So if I scroll down here, you see there's a bunch of different solutions, and this is what AI agencies tend to have. They have a bunch of different solutions. So whether it's like AI voice agents, AI, custom solutions, AI chatbots. I know UI agencies love to have a bunch of different solutions, and it's not a bad thing whatsoever. But when you're actually using all of these and then, pitching it all in your YouTube content, like you have a video about voice agents, then custom solutions, then chatbots, and you just keep rotating and it's all over the place, then that just looks horrible. The viewer is going to get confused. Maybe they were a buyer when you talked about voice agents, then your next video was about custom solutions, and then the video after that was about chatbots, and it's just so confusing. Your viewer is going to get confused, they're going to leave your page, and they're going to go to someone else offering a solution. So what I tell a lot of AI agency owners to do is, if I scroll up here, you can see pick the strongest offer. This is what I strongly advise you guys to do. Pick the strongest offer that you have. So let's say it's voice AI agents. That's your strongest offer. You can pitch everything else on the call. That's fine. As soon as they book a call with you, you can pitch all the other stuff as a LTO or low ticket offer, or whatever type of offer you want to run. You can see what they qualify for. But either way, pick your strongest offer, because pitching all of these, or maybe even talking about all of these in your content, is going to overwhelm the person. One is enough. Even two is like the maximum, but if you're talking about all three in your content, they're just going to get confused. So you definitely don't want to do that. So now that you have your strongest offer, let's say, for example, you have, you're targeting real estate agencies and you have your main offer as AI voice agents. What we're going to do live right here on the video is create your content pillars. And there's different ways you can do so. And the reason I'm doing this is because I really want to help you guys when it comes to this. So let's say, real estate agencies is what you're targeting and your main offer is AI voice agents. There's two ways you can come up with content pillars for this. So the first way, which we're going to go over first, is going to be way number 2. So you can do this by collecting your pain points, bottlenecks, and mental doubts of your ideal client profile, which in this case is going to be real estate agents. So some pain point examples would be, for example, the leads are going by really fast, or following up is wasting their time, or maybe it's hard to train staff. That's a pain point right there. Actually, that's 3 of them. So you can utilize that, for example. Next is going to be bottlenecks. So a bottleneck of theirs could be they're scared of complexity. They're scared of AI voice agents being too complex for their business, which you hear all the time as an AI agency. You also hear they don't understand AI, or maybe no clear metrics, like they don't even know how it's going to help them, pretty much. Maybe you're not articulating that well in your videos. Or here's some mental doubts. They don't trust AI. Maybe they tried it before, but it didn't work. Or maybe they're thinking, what if it breaks? These are really important things to have. But now that you have these, you can obviously write down a lot more. I only wrote down 3 because this is not my main, niche. I don't run an AI voice agency who, targets real estate agencies. So you can write down a lot more. But the key is, once you have a bunch of these, let's say like 5 to 10, that's a really good thing, because you know what you can do now? You can take all of these. Let me bring out my drawing skills. You can take all of these and turn these into 5 to 10 videos per. So let me do per. And I'm not the best drawer, but you can ignore that. So cool. So each of these bullet points, actually, let's start from the top. So we have the content pillars, pain points, bottlenecks, and mental doubts. Each of these content pillars can be split into multiple bullet points. So these bullet points under it are going to be pretty much different pain points, different bottlenecks, or different mental doubts that your ideal client profile has. Now these different bullet points can be split into different videos. So you see what we're doing now, right? It's just like basically like a funnel going like pretty much from small to big, instead of like, big to small. So we went from these small things to bullet points, so to a ton of videos. 5 to 10 videos per bullet point is what you can do, to be honest. So you can do that. And now way number 1 is going to be pretty much when you take all the steps required to hit the destination that your ideal client profile is trying to hit. So let's say they're trying to have an in place 24/7 working all the time voice AI agent into their real estate agency. So what you can do here is actually just take the steps required for them to actually get to that point. So we're going to do it live right here. So step one, in this specific example that we're talking about, could be maybe, division. Maybe you just need to educate them on AI voice agents. They don't know much about it. They're just being nurtured. They just found your page. So we can write here division content. This is how, they're going to see the vision of how it can be used in their business. Let me just make this look a bit nicer. Let me drag that over here. Cool. So step number two is going to be the primer content. So this can be like why they actually need it. So now they know about it, but they don't understand why they actually need it. Why is it important to their business? That's going to be step number two. So that's the second step they need to take. So I can write here the primer content. And once again, let me make this a bit smaller just so it looks a bit nicer on the screen. Cool. And then step number three, this can be, pretty much you teaching them how to implement it even a little bit into their business. So we can actually right here is going to be, let me click this. Step number three is going to be the system sample. And I know what you're thinking here. You don't want to give away all the sauce, but this is exactly why we have different pillars for you to actually talk about. And that's exactly why there's a bunch of different video ideas. You don't have to do this all at once. You don't have to give away all the different sauce at once. And you don't even have to talk about, the step-by-step in each of your video. Like you don't have to talk about step one to step five, in order just like that. You can actually talk about, like 2 step ones, maybe a step 4, maybe a step 3, and a step 5 every once in a while, maybe a step 2. It can be scattered because your audience is going to find it. YouTube does a really good job at helping people be nurtured by your content. And if your content is really bingeable, which it really should be, so they can actually get nurtured, then they're going to watch everything, like literally everything, and they're going to book a call with you eventually. Remember, it takes up to 7 times, I believe, for them to see your face, for them to actually want to buy and purchase from you. So you have division content, basically teaching them about, AI voice agents or whatever you're offering. Then you have the primary content, teaching them why they need what you're offering. Third is going to be the system sample, teaching them a little bit of how to implement it, just like a little taste of it. No, not too much. You don't want to give all the sauce. Step 4 is going to be pretty much the common mistakes. So you can talk about the common mistakes that a lot of people fall for. And then this could be step 4 because a lot of people tend to make a bunch of common mistakes when they try to implement it themselves. You can see the angle that I'm going at here. If you try to implement it yourself, then you're just going to get stuck. That's why you need my agency, something like that. And then step 5, this is going to be the last step that they need. This is going to be like a full course or a full masterclass, or maybe like an entire build out, something like that, right? For free, by the way, to your audience for free. So this can be the next step. And pretty much this next step is going to funnel them into maybe your course, maybe your offer, anything like that. But either way, they're really going to appreciate this free build, but you're not going to do this really often. It's going to be very, very rare. Maybe like once every 2 to 3 months, just so you can give a little bit more free sauce to those people like getting nurtured, right? So those can be your content pillars. And guess what? With these, let me click on here, get my drawing skills back. You can actually turn these into a bunch of videos just like that. So you have all the steps. And by the way, I like this way number 1 better. I think you can get a lot more video ideas out of it. That's what I do. So you can take all these steps and just turn them into a bunch of video ideas just like that. So there you go. Now you have, let's say you have 5 video ideas per pillar. That's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 video ideas just from these steps that you need. And by the way, you can even break these steps even more down to get more specific with what you're, trying to offer your audience. So it doesn't have to be surface-based. It can be a lot more in-depth and a lot more advanced. This is the absolutely correct way for you to be creating YouTube content if you're an AI agency on YouTube. If you want to target the right audience, if you want to get a bunch of sales, a bunch of qualified calls, you should be following this system. Use this system, pick your best offer, then create content pillars based off your best offer. Boom, 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 create a bunch of video ideas, create a bunch of bullet points, then video ideas based off those bullet points, 5 to 10 per bullet point, or maybe even a bullet point could be a video idea if you really want to. And then for this way number 1, which I find really simple actually, you can just turn those into video ideas as well. And boom, just like that, you have over 3 months worth of content that you can literally just recycle, by the way, afterwards, after the months are done. You can just recycle it, make it even a bit better, see a mistake that you did before, they could fix now, and boom, just like that, you have a bunch of video ideas. you have a good content pillar, and you have a good content system that you can follow and get a bunch of qualified calls, get a bunch of qualified sales from YouTube with. So there you have it, the biggest mistake that I see AI agencies making when it comes to YouTube. So you can take a hard look at this and you can see whether or not you're making this mistake in your business. So if you want to skip the trial and error and work with the team that actually knows how to generate, qualified calls from YouTube for AI specific businesses, click the first link in the description to book a free call with me. I'll analyze your entire content strategy and see exactly what needs to change for you to start seeing results. Also, if you found this video valuable, YouTube thinks you'll even find this one more valuable, so go check that one out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.